Hello, seekers. Wildly of Wildly Tarot here, and this is your Moonday message for October, and in particular, the week beginning with October 11th, 2021. And the energy this week, there is some density to it. There is some heft to it. We still have one more week of Mercury Retrograde to go. And we are halfway through the waxing crescent phase. So things are really coming into light, and yet we're in this backwards, slow space of reviewing past communication, reviewing truth, reviewing our connection to technology, reviewing how truth and communication and messaging affects us, what feels true, what doesn't feel true. This is a real clarifying time as we are moving towards the full moon and eventually stepping into the death season and into Scorpio depths. So it makes so much sense that there's some density this week. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's simply the contraction, the yin quality, the magnetic quality of moving inward, slowing down, of receiving. And it's not a negative. It's just something that we aren't necessarily used to experiencing in our cultural dialogue. So just prefacing that, and it feels so poignant with the cards that came forward. So the first card that's gracing us this month and this particular week, we have the Void. This card has been coming up a lot lately. And in particular, in my new group, Wild Moon Medicine Collective for Women, this is the first topic we're diving into this month, is the topic of great mystery, of leaning into the unknown. And speaking of, if you are interested or curious, you only have 2 more days to join us in the collective. It is such a juicy space, and it's already beginning to become a very potent and powerful experience for the women who have already said yes. So 2 more days to dive in there. And so it makes so much sense that this is the energy as well that's being carried this week. The energy of the void. It is great mystery. It is the unknown. It is literally the dark hole, right? In the universe. It is the black hole. It is the place where all things go and all things are birthed from. It is the womb. It is a time of stillness, of slowing down. This week is all about slowing down so that we can really gain clarity and find our truth, our knowing. There's a shedding that is available to all of us this week as we are moving towards full moon, when things come to light, when truth is revealed. Every moon cycle, we go through these ebbs and flows of if we allow ourselves to follow the rhythm, where we grow, we expand, we see what works, what doesn't, we clarify ourselves, we come back in, and we continue this ever-evolving cycle of rebirthing. It keeps life fresh, it keeps life fascinating, and it keeps us in this continual space of growth and evolution, which is just magnificent. This is what life is meant to be, where we are responsible to life and not staying rigid and stuck in our preconceived notions and belief systems. And it's supported here with the tarot, with the 10 of Swords. So 10s, you've heard me say this before, are all about the completion of a cycle. The 10s are where we end a spiral and then we step into the ace, we begin a new spiral. And this one in particular, you can see the person's on their knees here. They're just head down, feeling very dense, surrounded, or they perceive that they are surrounded by all of these external events, all of these relationships, jobs, choices, external pressures from outside of ourselves, from our employers, from our government, from our friend groups. Whatever you feel as though is occurring outside of your control that is adding a feeling of constriction or contraction or loss of freedom and movement. This week offers the energy, if we choose to dive into it, of standing up and saying, oh, I can just walk around these things and head up here to the party that's going on. My freedom is determined within me. My internal landscape is 100% mine to sit with. And I get to choose. I get to choose how I play in that space. Not that these aren't stressful, not that these don't impact us. Of course they do. External circumstances affect us. If we don't have enough food to eat, we are affected. Holding space and honoring those lived experiences. I do not hold that experience at this time. I have food, I have clothing, I have a roof over my head. And I've had times in my life where I have not, where I've had to lean on food stamps and assistance and was afraid of losing my home and not being able to care for my 2 children as a single mom. So I honor those sensations, and I know that those things are true and have a huge effect on us. We're not discounting the reality of this 3D world. We're just adding to it. And I still have the power to choose what I do inside of myself, even with those external circumstances. I get to choose if I take time to meditate. I get to choose if I take time to breathe. I get to choose if I find support people to help me process the challenging emotions and sensations and vulnerabilities that occur. That is my power. I spoke recently about a woman in her power, and this feels like the definition that I want to drop in here while trying to keep this video at a manageable level. This power is not about muscling our way through things. It's not about being tougher than. It's not about doing toxic masculinity. Power is being able to stand in our truth, in our authenticity as messy human beings and allowing it to be okay. That our messiness is okay and we can still make good choices. Our messiness is okay and we can make mistakes, and that's okay too. The power comes in honoring and being with exactly who we are and making it exactly right. And that's what feels possible this week, is another letting go of a layer in which we're just not okay, where we don't feel acceptable or lovable or as though we fit in. We can step away from those swords. We can step away from those things that influenced our behaviors and our actions, and we can choose instead to move towards behaviors and actions and relationships and spaces that encourage our unique frequency and our authenticity 100% of the time. Like, we have that choice, even as we navigate all of our obstacles, even as we show up honestly as messy humans who perhaps have been broken in different parts. Maybe our bodies are not working the way we prefer. Maybe our hearts have been shattered. Maybe our minds have been pressed to the point of feeling as though we are having a schism and unsure of where solid ground is. Maybe our spirit has been tampered with by these external circumstances. Yes, holding space for the fullness of the human experience. We're not trying to pour sugar on the pile of shit, as one of my teachers, Julia Wells, was discussing this morning on a call. We're not trying to get rid of that. We're accepting it. just being positive doesn't fix all the negatives. We acknowledge them, we accept them, we give them space at our table to be felt. And then we step into the next layer of pleasure, of positivity, of, okay, this is my human experience, and I'm going to take charge and empower myself to tend so that I can be in a place that feels good, because I deserve to feel good, because I am worthy of feeling good, even if my life feels like a dumpster fire. That feels like the message for this week. I hope that it serves you well. I hope that you have everything that you need. Take a good care of yourselves as we step into this dense time, as we move towards Samhain and Death Day and all of the beautiful honorings of the darkness that is contained in a well-lived life. It's all here. It's all relevant, and it all deserves space at the table. And if you would like to join Wild Moon Medicine Collective, you have 2 more days. I would love to see you in there.